What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome to the Splatoon Global Testfire event. Nintendo gave us the chance to play the game over the weekend for a total of 3 hours, and boy, was it a ton of fun. This footage is from the very first play session on Friday night, and although I did record the entire hour-long session, for the sake of this video, I'm only going to be showcasing the matches in which my team actually won. I figured this would probably be a good way to showcase the game and give you guys my opinion on it. So, this first match is probably like the second match that I played ever, but we're playing on the Walleye Warehouse map. And just to get this out of the way, in this video you will see both of the maps the demo had to offer, as well as all the weapons in the demo. So that being said, in this match, we are using the Splatter Shot, which actually ended up being one of my favorite weapons. So, towards the end of this video, you'll probably see me use this a lot more than some of the other weapons in the game. I don't know, I just felt more comfortable on this, but really this weapon is sort of like your average go-to. It's fairly easy to take out other Inklings with it. It does run out of ink really quickly though, but you can cover a lot of ground with it, which is kind of like the main objective in this mode, Turf War. Now, the abilities that come with this preset kit in the demo were like, you know, normal ink grenades, and then like if you use your special ability, which is done by pressing down on the right analog stick, you can throw like a bunch of grenades in rapid succession, and it doesn't use up like nearly as much ink. Now, unfortunately, I'm not really sure if I show that off in this particular clip, because like I said, this is probably my second match ever, so I was still learning like the other intricacies of the game, because at this point I really didn't even know how to use that like super jump thing when you die and respawn. So yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point I didn't figure out what my specials did or even how to do that. So you'll see me do a couple of stupid things over the course of like these earlier segments, but towards the end I sort of realized, you know, what you can and can't do. Now, one thing that I was pleasantly surprised about in Splatoon is how easy it was to just like pick up and get into it. For whatever reason, I was concerned that like getting in and out of the ink was going to be really complex, but thankfully it's really just one button. So you press it to go down, release it to pop back up, and it really makes the game fast-paced, which is what I like so much about it. Like, that was probably my favorite thing, because a lot of shooters are pretty slow, and Splatoon is completely the opposite. Like, you can go dive down into the ink and flank around your enemies super quickly before they even know what's going on. And the fact that it's objective based instead of focusing on kills really sort of aids to that fast pacedness, because you're not really worried about what your other guys are doing. You're more or less just worried about making sure more of the field is covered with your color ink. So it's a really interesting concept, and it reminds me a lot of like the objective based Halo game modes from like the Halo 3 days. So it kind of hits home to me, and I think that's one of the reasons why I really liked this. Anyway, so that does it for the first match, and yeah, we totally stomped the purple team. Like, it wasn't even close. I think I ended up doing the best on my team too. Yeah, I did. So I would say I did pretty alright for like my second match, but I probably could have done a little bit better. So that being said, let's move on to the next match. This time around, again, we are playing on Walleye Warehouse, which is my favorite of the two maps. Unfortunately for me, though, I actually got to play on this one the least, like, every time I played the demo. So, you probably will see more of the other map once we get later on in the video. So enjoy this one, you know, while you can. So this time around, we are using the Splat Charger, which is one of the more long-range or sniper class weapons, I guess you could say. This one I don't believe gives you the option to zoom in with a scope, so it's not, I guess, as long-range as some of the other ones in this sort of weapon subtype would be. But this is the only one they gave us in the demo, so I'm just sort of like doing the best with what they gave us. Now, I sort of changed my play style for this particular weapon, because as you saw, like, in that first match with the Splatter Shot, I was just sort of like running around, getting up close and personal with it, whereas this one, since it's kind of long-ranged, I wanted to stay back more and just try and cover the field, because with this weapon, although it does take some time to charge, you can cover a very long distance with it, so it's really good in that regard. Now, these early matches, I actually adjusted the control scheme and upped my sensitivity, since when I play a lot of console FPSs, I usually play with the sensitivity pretty high, so I believe this is like maybe my 3rd or 4th matches, so I still had my sensitivity like cranked up to I think about +2, and I think I turned it down after this match actually, so if it looks a little janky, I do apologize, but that's just how I'm used to playing console FPSs. So I thought it would be like the same thing with Splatoon, but surprisingly enough, the sensitivity with Splatoon is already pretty high, so cranking it up isn't really needed. I think I ended up putting it down to like maybe +1 total, so just that little bit does make a big difference for me though, and anyone who's played like console FPSs will tell you that, you know, sensitivity is like a sort of a big deal. I also don't think there's any aim assist in this game. I can't really tell, but I'm pretty sure there's not. So you really do have to be like good with aiming, especially with these long range weapons, since if your entire focus is going to be taking out enemies from a distance, it's going to be really hard to get that pinpoint aim, especially since everyone does move so quickly. Also, keep an eye on your ink gauge. This weapon can go through ink very, very quickly. Just because you can charge it up, and after like maybe 3 or 4 fully charged shots, all your ink is pretty much gone at that point, so you really gotta watch it. One thing I will say about Splatoon is that I wish they kind of made the ink gauge easier to sort of read, because I don't know if this is just me or not, but I always had trouble like keeping track of where my ink gauge was. Like, I know it's right on your back, but it's still somewhat difficult to keep track of. Anyways, I did pretty bad this game. I'm not really sure how, you know, I did point-wise, but we ended up winning just by a little bit. But I'm pretty sure I did not do like the best on my team. Alright, so I got 2nd place, but I was only down by like 30 points, so I guess I did not do nearly as bad as I thought I was. So let's move on to the next match. Alright, so now we are on Salt Spray Rig. This is the 2nd of the 2 maps in the demo, and this time around I am using the roller, I believe. The roller is sort of like a giant, well, it's a giant paint roll. That's like the best way to explain it. So, I'm not really going to say this is like a tank style weapon, because you don't have more HP. In fact, you're really, really easy to kill if you use this. The main benefit to the roller is that you can cover a ton of ground very quickly, so that's its best advantage, but that's about it when it comes to advantages with the roller, because if you're using the roller, you're pretty much bringing a knife to a gunfight. That's like my best analogy that I can give you. When people shoot you in this game, it actually slows you down, so you cannot like charge people head on with the roller. It's just not going to go well for you, so really your best bet with the roller, at least in my opinion, is to try and stay away from people and cover ground where there's not a lot of like battling going on. And if you can, or if you do have to go into an area where there's a lot of battling, try and sneak up behind your opponents, because that's really going to be the best way to kill them. So here's the actual special for this thing. It's sort of like a weird giant speaker. I wasn't really sure how it worked, so I just sort of like tried it out there. But basically what that thing does is create like a giant sound wave, and if like another Inkling, an enemy Inkling is caught in that, it'll pretty much kill them instantly, so it's really good in that regard. Now, one thing I thought that was funny in Splatoon is that if 2 rollers bump into each other, like if they're on opposite teams or whatever, both of you die, so there's no real way to kill another roller enemy as a roller. You can't just like run them over, unless you do it from like behind them, then you might be able to get by with it. But yeah, as you can see, like sneaking up behind other Inklings is really the best way to use the roller, since if they can't see it coming, obviously they cannot stop you, but charging head-on does not work. It is really, really easy to kill you. A lot of people said the roller was like overpowered, but I really do not think that is the case, because every time I've played with it, or every time I've played against it, I've always found ways to either get kills or kill the person with the roller. There's only like certain instances where the roller is always going to kill you if you're playing with a normal weapon like a splatter shot. Like, for instance, if you're standing in enemy ink and an enemy roller is coming at you, you're pretty much screwed. There's really not too much you can do to get around that because the enemy ink does slow you down. But if you are on, like, neutral ground or you're in your own ink, what you can do is if, you just walk backwards while maintaining, you know, your aim on the person with the roller, you will always kill them before they even get close to you. So that is one advantage. You can also take out the people with chargers pretty easily because 9 times out of 10 they will wait to, like, charge up fully to shoot you. So if you're close enough, you should be able to take them out. Anyways, that does it for that match, and again, only 10%, so it was kind of close. These matches, I think, get closer as, like, the game goes on because, you know, more and more players got experienced. But I did do the best here as well with 1,000 points, and that's just because I covered so much land with the roller. So let's move on to the next clip. And again, we're on Salt Spray Rig. I'm pretty sure, like, the rest of the matches probably take place on this map because, like I said, this one showed up the most when I was playing through. But I think this time around, I'm using the Splattershot Junior, which is... it's kind of confusing to explain this weapon. So it's not really as precise as the Splattershot. It sort of, like, shoots in a spray. So, you can cover a lot of ground with it. And it does kill fairly quickly, but not as fast or as accurate as the normal Splattershot. I do like this one a lot, though. This whole kit is kind of cool because the special ability you get with this weapon is the shield, and the shield is really, really helpful. I like it a lot. So basically, if you press down on the right analog stick, you become invincible for a certain amount of time. So for instance, if someone is trying to run you down with a roller, you can equip that on and just take them out without them even knowing what's going on. Another cool feature it has, though, is that if you're near one of your allies and you equip it, they get the shield as well. So you can kind of use it as, like, a supporting class ability as well. And I think a lot of people will use this when the full game comes out, and you can sort of customize it. So yeah, here's me using the shield and taking out that guy with the roller. It was pretty funny. He had, like, no idea what was going on. But overall, I do like the Splattershot Junior and the Splattershot a lot. I think they are my favorite weapons just because... you know, it's more like an up-in-your-face, sort of fast-paced playstyle, and that's what I really like, and I think that's what Splatoon shines at the most. So, I think, after this clip, I actually just have the rest of the clips playing with either of these two weapons. Not entirely sure. I might go back to the roller at one point or another. I don't really remember what I did. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that I am playing with the Wii U gamepad, and for whatever reason, the demo did not support the Pro Controller. I was talking to one of my friends, and he said, like, the full game might not even support the Pro Controller unless it's, you know, local multiplayer, which I really hope is not the case, because, I don't think the gamepad is a bad controller. It's pretty comfortable, but after long periods of play, it's not exactly the most comfortable thing to hold. Now, I understand that, like, you do need the gamepad to, like, select, you know, where you want to super jump to, but I think they could easily map that to, like, a button or have a menu pop up while you're respawning. You know, if you do choose, like, the Pro Controller as your main source of controls. I also should mention that, in the demo, they first start you off by throwing you right into a tutorial segment, and they force you to use the gyro controls on the Wii U gamepad, and they're not bad, and I think maybe they would be a lot of fun to get used to, but because, you know, we only had like an hour to play this game at a time, I really didn't want to, like, waste time getting adjusted to the motion controls, so I kind of just, like, turned those off immediately, and went back to, like, dual analog like pretty much every other shooter works. But there we go, another pretty demolished victory, so Orange guys did not do so hot there. And again, top of the team, baby. That's how it is. I actually got top a lot of the times that I played. Not really sure if that says that, like, my opponents were worse, or I just sort of played the objective better, because I don't know, I'm not really too sure how the scoring system in the game works. Like, I know it is based on, like, how much paint you put down, and you know, like, how many enemies you do kill and stuff like that. So I think I can't really tell what weapon I'm using. I think I am using the Splattershot, like the normal one, though. So Again, we're playing on Salt Spray Rig or whatever this map is called. I think the rest of the clips are going to be on this map because, like I said, while I was playing the demo, this map came up like every single time. And I kind of got sick of it. Like, it's a really cool map, and you know, it has all like those different levels, which are really cool, and the two like separate areas where you can get a ton of points. But I gotta say, I really liked the Walleye Warehouse map a lot more than this one. Probably because I didn't get to play it as much, but that could just be me as well. So these matches are just like, you know, after I had gotten used to the game a little bit. So this is like later on in my first play session. Going back to like weapons that I'm more comfortable on, so it'll be interesting to like see how my playstyle differs from the beginning of this video, but I think at this point I sort of understand most of the intricacies of this game and sort of how it works, so I would expect to play a little bit better, at least I hope I do, so you guys can sort of be the judge of that, I guess. And I will expect comments that say, you know, Matt, you're awful at this game, so don't let me down, guys. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun playing Splatoon, so definitely I'll be picking this game up when it comes out. I mean, I was already planning on picking it up anyways, but like, definitely playing this demo sold me on it for sure. Like, if you guys are on the fence about buying this game, it's a lot of fun. Like, it might be worth it just for the multiplayer. I will say this though, the game is fun, but it could be better. I think it'll be up to Nintendo to sort of really make this game something special. So we'll have to see what they do with it through, like, you know, post-launch content and DLC and stuff like that, and game modes, because if Turf War is the only non-ranked game mode, I think it's going to get old after a while, so I think they do need to spice it up and give the non-ranked players some new game modes, and definitely new maps, although the map system in Splatoon for like the retail game is kind of weird. So my understanding of how it works is that every 4 hours the maps will switch, and you'll get 2 maps every 4 hours, and that's just so it gives you the ability to adjust your loadout to make it more you know, suited for that map. And I feel like they could have fixed that by just allowing you to have multiple loadouts like Call of Duty does. Like, you know, you can have several different loadouts where you can customize what's in them and stuff like that. So I feel like if they implemented something like that, they could just have a random roulette of the maps, and that might be a little bit better. But holy crap, dang, dude, we stomped the orange team there, and I feel like I did pretty well that match, so we'll see what the points show up as. Alright, I got over 1,000. Wasn't as good as some of my other matches, but still did the best on the team, so that was a lot of fun. Let's move on to the next match, though, and again, Salt Spray Rig, everyone's favorite. I only have like 2 matches left, so there's only one more after this one, I mean. The matches are 3 minutes long, as you can probably tell, which, again, is kind of why I feel like this game is better suited to fast-paced playstyles. And, oh, I did actually decide to go back with the long-ranged weapon here and see how it sort of fares on this map, so not really sure how I do in this one. Oh, that was a nice shot, holy crap. Oh man, it's really cool just to like watch this game in action too. Like, I gotta say, one thing I like about this game a lot is the visual style. I like that it is so bright and vivid with the colors and everything like that, you know? Because a lot of FPSs aren't like that. They're sort of like dull. There's only a few that sort of have a lot of color going on in them. And I really like colors in video games because really, like, games that have like a dull art style are just boring to me. It's like they're not visually appealing, whereas Splatoon, it visually stimulates you, and I really like how it looks. Also, the game plays in 60 FPS, which this video will probably be rendered out in 1080p 60 FPS, so try and take advantage of that if you can handle it. I know some computers have issues with it, but yeah, if you can handle it, definitely try and take advantage of that, because this game does look absolutely amazing. Dude, I love getting kills when other Inklings are like inside of like their own colored ink, and you just like cover it and just kill them instantly. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I guess I'm sort of like guarding this area back here, and that is like a pretty good strategy to do in this map, just because this area is worth a ton of points. So it can be a pretty big hotspot to guard and try and keep covered with your own ink. It's not really camping in this game because you're sort of moving around and the enemies have to come to you. Well, I guess that would kind of be camping, but I don't know. There's like a little... It's not as bad as camping, I would say, in like other games. And, oh, there I go. Accidentally, yeah, just like ran off the edge, rather. And yeah, you can easily do that. That was like the first time I ever did it, though. So I didn't even realize that you could walk off the edge in this game until this one, which was kind of funny to realize. So it's like, whoops. Well, guess I killed myself. Not really sure if there's any penalty for doing that, though. I don't think like you lose any points or anything like that. When you do die, though, your sort of like special meter up in the right corner, you know, where you can press the R button, or the right stick rather, that meter does sort of go down a little bit when you die, so you do need to be careful about that if you want to keep your special charged up. And how you charge that up is just by, you know, covering more of the field with ink and stuff like that. And yeah, so definitely pay attention to that and keep that in mind. I think there's someone over here I'm trying to get. Yeah, there, come on, get him. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I don't know why I didn't kill him. Maybe like my shots were like hitting the bottom of the map. Not really sure, but this match is just about over anyways. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously we won because I'm only showing the matches in which we won, but we'll see by how much and how well I actually did. Bam, there we go. That one was actually pretty close. I think that might have been the closest match. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really like the long range gun. And wow, I actually did pretty poor. Third on the team, man. Yeah, so I think at this point I realized that the long range weapons were not for me. And here we go, last clip on Salt Spray Rig again. And we'll see what I went back to this time. I think I'm just using the regular splatter shot again. Yeah, it looks like it. So yeah, definitely this was my favorite weapon of the demo. I just liked the way that it felt. Had a really good like shot spray, and it killed other Inklings pretty quickly. The only downside is that if you just like constantly spray to cover the field with ink, you will run out of ink very, very quickly. So you do need to sort of like go and hide in your own ink to recharge it. But other than that, I think this weapon is really well balanced and probably one of the best in the game right now. The thing is, though, Splatoon is going to be all about customization with your gear and what you put together in your loadout. So that's really going to extend the life of the game. And I'm looking forward to the full release when, you know, you get that ability, because I feel like weapons that maybe aren't the best now will get a significant buff later on with those different advantages in gear and abilities. So it'll be really cool to see how, like, the meta of this game shifts. And I think, again, it'll be up to Nintendo to really extend the life of this game by adding more gear, more weapon types, and again, more game types, because as it is, like, Turf War is fun, as I said before, but if it's the only mode in non-ranked battle, I feel like it will get old very, very quickly, so we'll see how it goes. But honestly, the thing I like about Splatoon is that if you want to play this on, like, a really high level, like, your team composition is going to have to, like, match what maps you're playing on, because, like, for certain maps, you're going to want a roller. Like, for this map, at least, I think if you have one roller on your team, you're pretty much set, because there's a lot of space that you can just, like, easily go around with a roller and cover a lot of distance. Whereas the other map that we were on, maybe having a roller isn't necessary, so you might want more, like, support style of characters with the shield as their ability, since a lot of that map is like close quarters, so having the shield, you know, making yourself invincible would probably help out a lot. And of course, maybe having like one roller wouldn't hurt you either, but I feel like having a lot of more fast-paced weapons would probably help out. So I'll be interested to see how like some of the best players play this game, and I really hope there is like a team feature as well, because I would love to see like Splatoon as a legitimate esport. That would be freaking incredible. I know like Nintendo has tried to get into like the esports scene a little bit with Smash, and it'd be kind of cool if they wanted to go all out with sort of Splatoon and make it actually happen. And I could see it happening, but again, it's really up to Nintendo and how they sort of go about with the post-launch content, how they sort of react to the fan reactions to this game, I guess you could say. Anyways, though, we are approaching this last match, and down goes that roller guy trying to run me down. Not even cool, man. And holy crap, dude, I think I got like a triple kill right at the end there. Not even bad. Alright, so, at this point, I think this was the last match that I played, so this was like at 12:01, so at this point, the servers had been turned off for like a minute, but, since we were still connected, they let us finish, and holy crap, dude, we only won that by 0.3%, like, that is nothing. That is like a little tiny fraction of ink, and hey, I did the best on my team again. Pretty proud about that, heck yeah, but, like I said, I'm pretty sure this was my last game, so I think the servers kicked me off. Yeah, communication error, so that's it. They kick us all off and they don't let us play anymore. Kinda stinks, but whatever. That is going to do it for this video, though, so if you guys enjoyed this, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.